Alhamdulillah. Are you tired of being a weak man? We live in the weakest generation of men in history. A world where pleasure, whether it's haram, like watching haram, whether it's lahu, like just wasting time on social media, or whether it's just pure convenience, like delivery apps, is the most accessible than it's ever been. It encourages for men to be weak. And when you think about back in the day, when a boy became baligh, he was put to work and he was married at like 18, 19, 20. He had responsibility quick. But nowadays, society says that we should relax. We should be boys. We should have our fun, do a little bit of zina and settle down at 35. These are lies. All of it are lies. But most Muslim men are stuck with 3 boyish habits that until you break them, you will never become a strong Muslim man. So I'm going to make this super simple for you guys and easy. I'll be breaking down the 3 boyish habits that are keeping you weak and keep you from becoming a strong Muslim man. And I'm going to give you an extra free gift if you stay until the end that is going to make this transformation faster, simpler and easier, inshallah. So let's get into it. But before we get into it, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Sultan and I'm a 19-year-old revert from South Africa. I've been a Muslim for 2 years, alhamdulillah, and I've been on self-improvement for 4 years now. And I have helped, by Allah's permission, hundreds of thousands of men just like you, young men, young Muslim men, to develop themselves to please Allah Azza wa Jal. And I want to do the same for you today, bi'idhnillah Azza wa Jal. So let's get into it. Bismillah. First habit is doom scrolling. Time and attention is literally the greatest asset that we have in the dunya. When you think about it, all our life in dunya is time. We don't have anything else that we hold that's tangible. And yet that's exactly what shaitan is attacking you every single day. With the rise of social media, it's normal to be enslaved by your phone for like 3 to 4 hours a day. It's normal to literally just sit like this for like 3 to 4 hours a day. Allah protect us, bro. Like, this is average. Just watching useless TikTok reels and useless YouTube videos as well. It's also not discounted. Anything that is useless that won't bring you benefit, you're wasting your time. I mean, imagine if I came up to you, I took $100 from your wallet and just start burning it. You'd be like, yeah, what's wrong with you? You're crazy. You start punching me. But that's what you're doing to yourself. You're taking your time and just burning it. The blessing that Allah Azza wa Jal gave you. And I'll be honest, I'm not going to say that I'm perfect. When I was younger, when I was 16 years old specifically, I was severely detrimented by social media. When I started self-improvement, the biggest thing that held me back was doom scrolling on social media, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on especially TikTok and Instagram. And I remember I would try and do self-improvement and stuff, and I would even have productive leaks. Like, there was this one time I studied, I went to the gym, I was disciplined, but then came Friday. And on Friday, I spent like the whole afternoon until like 1 a.m. watching TikTok. And then I just woke up in the middle of the night at 4 a.m. and the first thing I did is I grabbed my iPad and I started watching TikTok again. And I scrolled until like 7 a.m. and I went to sleep again out of exhaustion. I slept for like 3 hours. And then I woke up and immediately after waking up, I just watched TikTok again. And I remember I got to a point on that day where I tried to watch a YouTube video and I literally scrolled up. I couldn't handle it. It was too hard to watch a YouTube video. But then I saw something even worse. My screen time. 12 hours. That's a whole day's worth of time. A day. Someone could have lived and gone to sleep, and that was the time I spent just scrolling. SubhanAllah. That's how bad it was. And it took me a long time to fight this until, alhamdulillah, about like a few months ago, I finally got rid of this from my life. And wallahi, like walillahi alhamdu, wallahi, it's the best thing I could have ever done in my life. It destroyed my life. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it's childish to throw time like that. When you think of a boy, boys have time. Boys have time for relaxation. They don't have to do anything. They can scroll, they can play video games all day, they have time. But men don't have time. Men are too busy fulfilling the rights of Allah, the rights of your body, the rights of your wife, the rights of Allah's slaves, to think about even scrolling. And Shaykh Shanqiti, he said, and he warned the shabab to guard our time because it's one of our biggest assets, our greatest assets that we have. Time. Specifically for the youth. So it's literally one of the biggest things that are keeping you as a boy is doom scrolling. And like, really think about it. Is it masculine to sit down for even 1 minute, especially as a Muslim man? Yani, we have something greater to think about. 1 second wasting. It's really not masculine to waste your time like that. Every time you scroll, it's just wasting hours and hours that could have benefited your deen and dunya. I mean, how many pages of Quran could you have read? How many books could you have read? How many salawat could you have done as nafil? How much more ibadah and how much good in the dunya could you have done for yourself as a man? If you didn't spend 2 to 3 hours a day, like that seems little. Akhi, that's a lot of time. You could do a lot of things in that time. And the biggest mindset that I want to relay on you is that a boyish mindset is that I have time. Like whether it's the language of the tongue or whether it's the language of action, if you have time to scroll, if you have time to waste time, this is boyish behavior. Men don't have time. When you make the switch from boyhood to manhood, it is that you do not have time. You gotta do stuff. You have things to do. So honestly, akhi, doom scrolling is destroying your self-development in Islam. It's destroying your deen development, honestly. And of course, it's gonna bring you haram and it's emasculine. So we have to get rid of this. Number one, doom scrolling is one of the worst habits that we can do as Muslim men. And as an actionable, I'm not gonna leave you hanging. I'm gonna give you a gift on top of the other gift that I talked about. A free mini course that I made for you that is gonna show you the exact steps and systems I used to get rid of the addiction to social media for me on TikTok and Instagram, and I want that for you as well. It should be on the iCard bi'idhnillah. After this video, you can go check that out and get rid of this if that's really a problem for you. Now, the second habit is watching haram. A few days ago, I was finishing my handbook that I am creating, my haram habits handbook that will help you take the first step to annihilate haram habits. And there's a section where I was talking about the foundational principles of annihilating haram habits, where I talk about failing downwards. It's a concept I have in there that will help you. And I felt so embarrassed writing it down because I thought of the sisters that pre-signed up for it to get it early access, and the stuff I had to talk about when I was talking about watching haram. It made me feel icky, thinking that sisters are gonna listen to this and see what our minds are like. And honestly, the single most immature and boyish habit that we are doing is watching haram and masturbation. I mean, like, and I'm not gonna pretend like, oh bro, you just stop. No, I know it's hard. I know, but there is, and I know it's a fitna. I know it's not easy to get rid of like that. Seriously, bro, it's the greatest thing that's holding you back from manhood. And I remember one of the comments that I got in one of the older videos where a sister was complaining about her husband still watches this and how us brothers can't do this to believing sisters. It's like, if you don't take the step today, akhi, shaitan's just gonna keep running circles around you. When you get married, you're still gonna be doing this. May Allah protect us and may Allah protect you. I mean, imagine still doing this when you're married, bro. And the reality is that you can't get, I really do not advise you get married until you get rid of this filthy addiction, because your nafs are poisoned. You will not like normal intimate relations. Before you get into that marriage, before you become the type of man who has a wife who is cheating on her on the phone, to be honest, because you're watching the haram, may Allah protect us. I know it's hard, but to become a man, we gotta get rid of this. This is one of the biggest boyish habits that we have, frankly. I mean, it is just not manly to masturbate yourself. Like, no matter what shaitan's gonna lie to you about and he's gonna beautify it, it's just not. And no matter, because you're waiting for marriage, he's also just lying to you, okay? We have to strive to get rid of it forever, starting today, if we want to become men. Because just picture yourself when you're on your phone typing that little website thingy, Allah protect us, stay with me, and you're scrolling and you're seeing these filthy things and you touch it, and then you're touching yourself while you're watching two kuffar commit zina. That's filthy, akhi. And I'm not even fighting you, I'm saying this is what shaitan has gotten us to do. Allah protect us. But it's filthy and it's emasculine, and we have to stop today. Don't let shaitan lie to you. And honestly, for the actionable step, I know it's hard. I know that me saying this is not going to help you much at all, in the sense that you are still going to have to deal with it. But you have to get rid of it. And that's why I made the No Step Back Starter Kit. Right? This is going to be the first step for you to finally get rid of this. Right? Because it's a long process, but I just need you to take action on the first step to get rid of this filthy habit, so that you can become a man instead of being a boy. Right? What I'm going to do for you is I'm going to give you a system that is going to teach you how to take that first step to finally start destroying the chains that shaitan has you in. And that's going to make jihadul nafs easier, faster, and simpler, as well as teach you how to fight and win it, so that you can finally start fighting back and take no steps back. So you can check that in the description as the first actionable step I need you to make. Take the means and make dua. Right? Tawakkul is taking the means and trusting Allah. You got to take the means now. Right? Because it's just not going to end until you say, I'm done, I'm going to commit to something, I'm going to take that first step, and that's what you need to do. So the first step is link in the description. Get the No Step Back Starter Kit today to take that first step, bi'idhnillah. Now let's get into the third boyish habit that we are doing, which is a bad diet. So I remember when me and Lorenzo Hamza and some other, alhamdulillah, brothers in Islam, YouTubers who were calling, we were doing this group call, and he basically relayed a story of how, like, the West views Islam in terms of the da'wah. And he was, of course, talking basically about how Habib says that kuffar don't read the Quran and the Sunnah, they read you. So we are banners of Islam. The West view people, Muslims, as fat and unattractive. They think it's a dirty thing, right? Which is funny, because Islam is about cleanliness. If you were to look at what Muslim men are today, Muslims are fat, they're unhealthy, or they're skinny fat. It's not attractive to be a Muslim. Like, you don't think these guys have their lives together, we should follow it. So even the Muslims that are attracted to Islam, they get very deterred because of that. And when you think about it, the Sahaba was strong, muscular, and fit. They had their lives together. They were men. And having a bad diet is the main cause for having a bad physique. When we look at the sunnah is to keep our belly full if we wanted to fill it. 1/3. That's the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And he highlighted that we are supposed to eat for a purpose, which is to keep your back straight. In the beginning of the hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam spoke about how basically you should eat just a little bit to keep your back straight. But if you wanted to fill it, you would fill it with 1/3 of food, 1/3 of air, 1/3 of water, right? Along these lines. So when we look at this, we see that the purpose of eating should not be for pleasure if we're a man, because the greatest man in history, the most masculine man in history, is telling you that you don't need to eat that much. You just gotta keep your back straight. So how are we going to go up to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam with the excess of food that we eat, when excess is not loved in Islam, when he told us specifically to eat less? And I'm not saying there's not going to be days where you eat whatever you want. I'm not saying you're never going to eat anything. But I am saying you got to make an intention to start fixing your diet. And to be honest, for a long time, I didn't have a fixed diet. Like for the past 2 years, like a few months ago, for the past 2 years, I've had a horrible diet. Like, I'm not going to say horrible, but it hasn't been very great. Sorry, I haven't had an awesome fitness regimen. And honestly, to be like frank, as much as I kept my physique, because I did intermittent fasting, I felt horrible. Because external equals internal. If you're eating horrible, you're feeling horrible. That's just the truth. So even though I looked fine, I looked nice, like 15% body fat, I was still holding it. But I just felt horrendous, and I felt like it was emasculine to not be able to control my stomach. If I couldn't control these nafs, to say I don't want food, I'm not gonna eat food, I'm in control. If you can't control your nafs, that's emasculine. So I felt to myself, I was like, yo akhi, like, how am I supposed to be talking to the boys in the videos, but I'm not even able to control my stomach? So controlling your stomach is very important, and controlling your nafs is very important. That's masculine behavior, because it's boyish to allow our desires to take us anywhere. And also, when you think about boys can eat what they want. You think of young boys, they can eat candy, they can eat junk food, it doesn't really matter. Like when I was younger, I was also skinny fat, it didn't really matter, right? I was also like chubby, it didn't really matter because I was a boy. But men, they can't just eat whatever. They can't just let their desires take a hold of them. I mean, rijal, they fast. A sawm, how are you going to do a sawm if all you're doing is eating horrible at the end of the day? You're not going to get the benefits of it. Of course, it's ibadah, but how are you going to even fast if like you can't even control your stomach to say no? To get my point. And I know brothers who go through that. They literally cannot fast because their nafs are so in control of their stomach because of what they eat. And men eat less, and men eat healthy foods, and men look fit. So if we want to be men, we got to get rid of this bad diet. We got to fix our diet. That's what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Sahaba did, especially in terms of eating less. Actionably, what can we do? We can do two things. Fasting, in terms of the sunnah fast on Monday and Thursday, so you can take advantage of the ibadah that you can do, as well as take control of those nafs, because that's masculine. And intermittent fasting. So this will just be like missing a meal throughout the day, because that's going to decrease your calories, right? So ultimately, it's going to help you. And it's going to decrease the amount of bad food you eat because you're getting rid of a meal. And the next thing you do is you just focus on not eating horrible things. 5 days out of the week, just try not eating absolutely disgusting deep fried food, sugary food like donuts and cakes and cereal and like these type of things that are obvious, that I'm eating something bad. Yeah, let's get rid of that. If you just focus on doing the sunnah fast, doing the intermittent fasting every day, and getting rid of the really garbage foods and eating, what's normal, essentially, I'm not telling you to change everything, but if you just get rid of that horrible stuff, and even better if you were going to eat someone healthy, that's great. That's all you need to do to get rid of this habit. So I've given you the actionable steps over there, alhamdulillah. And that is the end of the 3 boyish habits that are holding us back from becoming masculine. And I'm going to fulfill my promise that I made to you in the beginning. I have a free course that I made for you that is going to help you with Islamic self-development and developing yourself to please Allah Azza wa Jal. So if you want to develop yourself as a Muslim according to the Quran, the Sunnah, and science, and you want to just become the best Muslim that you can be, you can go right here and you can watch the entire deen-driven development course for free. It's about 15 hours. I'm going to teach you everything to do with Islamic self-development for free. So go and enjoy that. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.